Buenos, amados hermanos, compañeros y compañeras, ustedes saben y ustedes reconocen que son puertorriqueños, ¿verdad? ¿Verdad? Ahora vamos a enseñarle a esta gente ahora que nosotros nunca los olvidamos que somos boricuas. Ahora sí. Sí, tan bonito. Me encanta la música criolla. Sigue, amados hermanos. Que viva la isla de Puerto Rico en mi corazón. Me siento bien orgulloso, amados hermanas, compañeros y compañeras, que Puerto Rico es nuestra isla y nunca se olvide de eso, ¿entiendes? Imagínate, mira esa música tan bonita. Mira para allá, música criolla, boricua. Ahora tengo ganas de comerme un buen plato de arroz y habichuela. Ay, bonito, me encanta la música puertorriqueña. Me encanta. Ahora mismo estoy pensando de esa isla tan bonita, las palmas de coco, el yunque, ay, y el mar, y las mujeres, ay, Dios, tan bonitas que son esas criaturas. Que el Señor bendiga eso. Ay, le doy gracias, Señor. Le doy gracias que soy puertorriqueño. Buenos, amados hermanos, compañeros y compañeras, ustedes saben y ustedes reconocen que son puertorriqueños, ¿verdad? ¿Verdad? Ahora vamos a enseñarle a esta gente ahora que nosotros nunca los olvidamos que somos boricuas. Ahora sí. Sí, eran bonitos. Me encanta la música criolla. Sigues, amados hermanos. Que viva la isla de Puerto Rico en mi corazón.
Shalom, shalom, Mark.
Shalom.
Yes, shalom. So we're here on another lesson by the grace and mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. The name of this one is the biblical origin of the name Puerto Rico. So I've seen going through the prophecies of Ephraim and Joseph, I've seen something that was of key interest concerning the name Puerto specifically, but also Rico going into the riches of Ephraim as prophesied in the Holy Bible. So we know that the tribes are always constantly being broken down, or they should be, as long as with other prophecies in the Bible, the laws, statutes, commandments, obviously, first and foremost, Yahweh Shai and his mission and his teachings. But sometimes things come out. You know what I'm saying? Things come out in the spirit.
Con, bro.
I have a scripture which I had brought out. It's in Corinthians. I had brought out in a lesson on the tribes of Levi and Simeon. So I'm just going to go into one verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 2. It's verse 13. It says, which things also we speak. So this we is exclusive to the men of the Lord here in the last days. Paul, the other apostles, they were speaking these mysteries to the people of the truth of Yahweh Shai and about the saints and their lot, coming up in the future in prophecy. So which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, because what was going on, it was the Greco-Roman world that was influencing a lot of our people back in those lands, in those areas of the world. The Greco-Roman world, they had so-called wisdom and knowledge, which our people were, unfortunately, they got caught up in the beast's philosophies. That's when Paul says, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth. And to bring it up to date, the United States of America, their school systems, the universities, the churches, the Roman Catholic Church, that is man's wisdom. They teach that we are, what are some of the words they teach that the Puerto Ricans are? They teach that we're descendants of Siberians.
Yeah, Mongolians.
Everything, Mongolian, Siberian.
Yeah, pretty much.
People with no culture, no civilization.
Nomads and stuff.
Hunter-gatherers. So that's man's wisdom. Because if you think about it, when you read the scriptures, it says wisdom went throughout all nations. You know what I'm saying? The Babylonians had a high civilization. You know what I'm saying? The Egyptians, even the Canaanites, they had the Tyre, Japhet had their things. So how is it when it comes to the people in the Western Hemisphere, when the devil comes over here, all of a sudden these people don't have, but they couldn't say that with the Aztecs. They couldn't say that with the Mayans and the Incas. They try to do that with the Caribbean because they had to overthrow the thinking of the people back in Spain, that these people were not anything but savages. So it's a right by God for us to destroy them and to convert them to Catholicism. So as time went on, though, that was debunked because the other priests, when they came out here, they debunked the first Spaniard conquistadors that these people are highly civilized out here. They got pyramids, they got all kinds of temples, and sophisticated governmental structure. So to finish that up, it said, so that's what man's wisdom teacheth, that us Puerto Ricans specifically, and our Latino brothers, Native Americans, and Black brothers, that we are nobodies in the earth, in history. So it says, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth. So the Holy Spirit teaches us as we progress and we learn, as we study in the truth. You know what I'm saying? As we go on in the truth, more things is revealed to us as time goes on. So this is the point here, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. That's the bottom line. This is not something the world, they don't see being a man of knowledge dealing with spirituality. Comparing spiritual things with spiritual in the world, you have to have facts, stone cold facts, like they say. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna say you guys are the tribe of Ephraim, you know what I'm saying? You guys are Hebrew and all that, but that's okay because the Holy Spirit is teaching us, even though the world tries to mock us and say you guys is superstitious and you guys is really just trying to cleave onto a nationality that is not yours. So what do you think about that, Art?
I agree, bro. I fully agree. Of course, that's what they're gonna tell us, but then they turn around and do it themselves. The white man plays every freaking character in the world except himself.
That's a good point. Esau Edom is like a missing character from really all biblical movies.
Correct.
You don't see it too much on the History Channel.
Correct.
The History Channel was big. You had Discovery Channel. You had all these channels.
When they do talk about it, they talk about it as if it's no more. It's that nation been wiped out a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Con.
It's sad, bro. It really is.
That's why study is important, because back in the homeland, the Jews were actually identifying Rome with Esau, with Edom.
Yeah.
Esau and Edom were being identified with Rome, I should say. So Esau hasn't been done away with in the world scene, and also
right. That's a beautiful. That was a beautiful point, bro. To be honest with you, that was on point, bro. Like, yeah, if what you believe the Jewish today to be known as Jews, they even in their books and in their little articles and papers and stuff like that, they say that the Romans were the Edomites. So, yo, bro, if Esau is the Romans, right? Then that means that the Romans are still around today. That means those Edomites are still around today. That's crazy, bro. That was a powerful point right there.
Hey, Shalom, Philly. Good to see you, brother. And Shalom, Chosen Elegido.
Shalom,
Philly. Yeah, so I just want to touch on this on the flip side. I was telling the brother, I believe it was brother Yaza Allah from Chosen Elegidos a couple of weeks ago, that how is it that all the nations of the earth do not call themselves by their biblical name? However, these so-called Caucasians call themselves Jewish. They are the only ones to retain an ancient name. You can't go to Egypt and they call themselves Mizraim. You can't go to Ethiopia, and they're gonna say, "Yeah, I am a Cushite." You
Right.
just won't see that. So why is it out of all people on the earth, that the only people on earth are able to identify themselves from something from several thousand years ago and say, "Yes, I am from the tribe of Judah. I am Jewish." That's something that's very suspicious of they're
It's
able
called
to retain
identity
something.
theft.
Say again, Ak?
It's called identity theft.
Yeah, it can. But it doesn't. It's not holding up to the normal way of people identifying themselves. China is not identifying themselves by Moab or Japanese with Ammon, the South Pacific, on and on and on. They are the only people saying, "Yes, we still have our ancient name on us," showing you,
Right.
like you said, there's a big time identity theft going on by the help, of the powers that be. So we're gonna leave that there. So
I mean, it's obvious, bro. You know
yeah,
what I'm
that shit is
saying? It's
crazy, bro.
obvious.
Yeah, so what I have here, like I had mentioned, I didn't want this to be like a typical Ephraim breakdown, but I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to go to Genesis, obviously Genesis chapter 49, and I'm gonna jump around. Let me see if you see that. In Genesis 49, speaking of Joseph, it says Joseph is a fruitful bough or bow, even a fruitful bow by a well. So this is the point with the word, the prophecy that Jacob gave to Joseph, which would apply to Manasseh and would focus in on Ephraim being the tribe with the double portion of the blessing by Jacob, right? So the fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow or bough by a well, whose branches run over the wall. So all of us, we know the breakdown on this. Ephraim having a lot of children, from such a small island. We spread out, to Babylon the Great and other countries. We're actually the smallest island out of all our brothers. Jamaica is even bigger than us. When you go into the measurements, the square miles of Jamaica and Cuba, obviously, they're way bigger than us. And Hispaniola, Levi, and Simeon, their island is humongous compared to Puerto Ricans. Can you imagine, check this out. Can you imagine if Puerto Ricans lived in the island of Cuba?
It'd be massive, bro.
It'd be too much. But you know why it had to be like that? All praise to the Most High, because that vibration of us being fruitful had to be contained.
Yo, but it's not even contained though, because we were too big for our own island. If you really think about it,
the
there's
branches are
exactly the branches that branched over the wall, bro. Like if you really think about it, man, there's more Puerto Ricans outside of Puerto Rico than there is in Puerto Rico. We were too big for that island. We had to branch over the walls.
So I'm gonna go into the right quick into the Hebrew. So when you go into the word fruitful, you got the word para.
Strong's H 6509. Para.
So I'm gonna leave it like that for a second, because I'm gonna go into the birth of Ephraim, which is obviously the same word, para. And later on, I'm gonna go deep into the word, because it's my contention that the word para and the word Puerto are in the spirit, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. Para is going to lead us right into Puerto or Puerto, as Ephraim would find themselves in a rich port. So it's no coincidence that we are Puerto Ricans. Is a combination of the two prophecies of the riches blessed that we were blessed with by Jacob, and also the land territory we will be in will be a port. It's connected with Ephraim. So I'm gonna leave that there, and I'm gonna go to What do you think about that, Ark?
Repeat the verse again.
That was Genesis. You know, the one we always go into for Ephraim. Joseph is a fruitful bow or bow, even a fruitful bow. The word fruitful is para.
Okay.
So when you go deep into that word, it actually goes into a port.
Come on, let's get it. Let's get it.
But before that, Salaki, let me just go into
I'm excited now. Now you got me excited.
this ain't gonna be too long. I wanted to make it a long drawn out, celebration of Ephraim, like it's the Puerto Rican Day parade, and wave our flags. Because we don't need this is the thing, bro. What did we just finish reading, bro? The scripture is plain, comparing spiritual things with spiritual.
Right.
We have a little archaeology that says, all right, this and that, but the Most High reveals these little nuggets here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like Esau has that what's that Easter egg hunt? You know what I'm saying? That wicked ass shit. The Most High puts nuggets in history. You know what I'm saying? In linguistics.
Speaking about that, we need to do a video on things that are not in the Bible but are observed by like Christianity and Catholicism.
Oh yeah, con. Yeah, we got you just had so-called Ash Wednesday. You had
right.
They're trying to imitate the scriptures with the sackcloth, the ashes.
That's supposed to be a day of repentance. What's our day of repentance,
God, the Day of Atonement. You already know.
Exactly. So what the hell? What's the problem? Why they got to go find something that's not even in the Bible? Yo, bro, we need to do a video on that.
Right, but they'll throw in that, it's mentioned in the Bible that you put ashes on your head. Okay, con, and so
but that's under certain circumstances. That's not just one day out the year.
Right, you could do that any time of the year. So why do you choose that? I mean, because they know there's very hidden aspects of Ash Wednesday, which has connections to ancient cults. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we know the Israelites were going into the worship of other gods. You know what I'm saying? So they it's very very subtle and very sly and slick how the Catholic Church introduced these things, covering like everything else. How they introduce a white Messiah, Caesar Borgia, is the same with the Ash Wednesday. They try to cover it up with scriptural, like they say, evidence or scriptural that the scriptures give it a green light, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? We know all that shit goes back to pagan observances.
That thing is about interpretation and building themselves into the scriptures, bro. I mean, that's a topic that need to be knocked down fast, kid.
Yeah. Most I wouldn't. We go into it in the next. I think it's next month, right? The so-called Easter observance.
I think so. Yeah, April.
Fine. So I'm gonna go with this is the book of Genesis 41 verse 52. So we seen the prophecy given to Joseph would be that he will be fruitful. Fruitful means para. We know Ephraim is Aparayim, right? Aparium. Genesis 41:52 says, and the name of the second called he Ephraim, for Yahweh hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. So this is the second born son of Joseph. Today they are known as the so-called Puerto Ricans of Taino descent and so-called black descent. Just like in Joseph, he suffered affliction in Egypt. We also suffered in the modern Egypt once the Spaniards came here and they oppressed, killed us, enslaved us, the Taino Native Americans. So, but we still became fruitful in the land that we were afflicted in through the Spaniard, the conquistadors, you know what I'm saying? By orders of Pope known as Alexander VI of Rome, the father of Caesar Borgia. So in the land of our afflictions, we still came up on top. The prophecy could not be broken. The scriptures could not be broken. So the tribe of Ephraim would still rise to the top. The cream would always rise to the top, even though we were enslaved, butchered. We were reduced to hundreds, huh? You know what I'm saying?
Bro. We were murdered, genocidal.
But as long as there's one Ephraimite on earth, the Most High can bring back the whole nation. As long as there's one woman, You know what I'm saying? Look what happened with
Con.
Noah. The sons of God came back through Shem, through one man.
Hey, now
Yeah.
that it's funny. Now that you're speaking, that it's funny. I just saw. It wasn't too recent. It was I'm gonna say 2018. A Boricua chick, bro. She's running this like this genetics program, and again, bro, the Taino DNA is popping up all over Puerto Rico. You see what I'm saying? Like, so like she was explaining that like 10 years ago, which would have been 2008, they didn't have the equipment to run these genetic testings really accurate. But now, 10 years later, the equipment has evolved, so now it's able to pick up, twice as much and more accurate. So it's like almost everybody on Puerto Rico that this Boricua, of course, has that Taino DNA. Yeah, like it's crazy.
Khan, see the bow side is saving the best for last. How they say, you know.
Khan.
All the tribes are gonna get their time to shine.
Shine, yep.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is gonna put out these evidences, these historical, archaeological proofs are gonna keep coming out. That's our job, to keep digging as we go about our daily lives. We have to slave on the plantation. Brothers is constantly going on their phone, their computer, their laptop. You know what I'm saying? The spirit is guiding them. As long as you pray, you're sincere. You know what I'm saying? We're doing this for the glory of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, so his sons and daughters can worship the true God. You know what I'm saying? Because this is crazy. Esau's killing themselves. They're feeding each other with their own flesh, drinking their own blood out there. This guy Putin and the Russians, they're bloodthirsty right now. So how can you look to these people as some kind of indicator of civilization?
Right.
So not to speak on the devil, but so it says Ephraim. Obviously, I shall be doubly fruitful. The point is, when you keep going deeper into the name Ephraim, into ancient so-called Middle Eastern linguistics, so we hit it once, and you have not too sure. I should have had my Hebrew on point, but it says the place of fruitfulness. So that's deeper. So into the name Ephraim, and then again we're left, or we go back to where Para, as we had with the prophecy with Joseph.
Yeah. I see that.
All right, so we're gonna leave that there, not to to tease the audience, but point is that there's a reason. Now I want to show, most High willing, go into the word Puerto Rico. So let's see how we're called Puerto Rican. Sometimes they make jokes out of that, like that's a funny name. But sometimes when you notice, when you say the word Puerto Rico, there's like people like they pay attention, or it's something about that. You know what I'm saying? It's like the word black or Mexican. You throw that, especially with Edomites or any of the nations. You know why? Because we're the hidden ones. You know what I'm saying? Once you start mentioning these names, this is where the sons of God are located at. You know what I'm saying? We're oppressed people, but we're on the rise. People realize that. It's like, damn, these niggas, these spicks who've been destroyed for 500 years, these niggas have office jobs, they're cops, they're in the military, they are fruitful. They couldn't be decimated or annihilated. Yeah.
Nah, just real quick. When you were saying how, sons of God and stuff, it reminded me of a video that I did like when I first came into this truth, bro. It's called Northern Kingdom Part 2 or Part 3. And in there, bro, it was talking about how the word Indio, because the word Indio, that's a Spanish word from Spain, and that the word Indio actually means child of God. So when they were calling us Indios, they knew exactly who we were, and they were calling us children of God.
God.
And remember what the prophecy says. It says, and in that place, thou shalt be called the children of God. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, right.
So it's like everything adds up and points, it points to it. So I found that interesting that you just mentioned that.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Indios, Hibaro. You see
Mm-hmm.
how comparing spiritual things with spiritual?
Yeah,
Are we
these
making these
words,
things up?
right?
Huh? We didn't
Yeah,
make them up. We didn't make them
right.
up. These things were around several hundred years before we came into the truth and started studying these things
Yeah,
with gente en Dios, indios.
yeah.
I have a book.
Dios, right? Because the word Dios is that's God. So indios, is man.
Hmm, Khan. Hibaro is another one. And I'm
Right.
not even gonna, I wasn't planning on it because it is a Sunday night, but you know how the spirit is. But we're gonna keep it short and to the point. But Hibaro as well. We could make a show and topics on all these words, and they apply to who? So-called Puerto Ricans, bro.
Khan,
Indios,
you gotta do it.
Hibaro.
You gotta do it, Ak. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta bring it out.
Yeah, because even that word, I started noticing certain things with Ephraim as well. Going into ancient linguistics, names of similar pronunciation appear. But let's go into the thing known as
So far we have the word para, right?
para, yeah, which really is the center of our name. Is a, para, yum.
Right,
The yum
right,
part is the plural. It's just
right.
is indicating how fruitful we are. Yum.
Bring it
That's
out.
not really our name. Ah is he. He is. You know what I'm saying? So the
Bring it
center
out.
part, what is the fruit? That is the main part of the prophecy, and it is part of our spiritual nature of bearing many
Many children.
seeds.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
many children. Yeah. Con. Bring it
So
out. Bring it out.
Kana, Puerto Rico, island in the Greater Antilles, group of the West Indies. Spanish literally. So obviously the Spaniard devil, they named our island Puerto Rico. It was named Borinquen, island of the brave lord, island of the noble lords is another word we know in the Hebrew. Brothers have brought that out in the past several years that it goes into the blessed ones, Barak one is
Con.
one understanding I heard of Borinquen.
Yeah,
So,
Boricua. Yeah, come on.
so the
Boricua,
Spaniards,
like, yeah.
Boricua, yeah. I actually, one day I was sitting down and Spirit had me, because the word bor, or the part of the word bor, bar, B-A-R, is another way of saying son in the ancient Middle East. You have ban, you have ibin, and you have bar too. So you have bar, right? But
Yeah,
you know
you
how
do. That's true. That's true. That's true.
but we know the Spaniards, they butchered, a lot of things. They may not understand. They don't understand this today, huh? We could be in the hood, or a white guy, Edomite. Let's say, put it like that. They might understand Puerto Ricans speaking to other Latinos, and they be speaking English with each other. We have a way of being flavorful with our talk and the way we speak. So sometimes they might understand us. Let alone when we were speaking Hebrew, back when the Spanish was trying to document and figure out how words connect to the Spanish words. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
bar, it could have been easily ban. You know what I'm saying? Ban, and then we have ban equa. I say equa, damn, that sounds like almost yaiqua. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, could board equa come from
Oh,
ban
son of
iqua, the
Jacob.
son of
Son.
Jacob?
Ooh.
That's something the spirit came out to me to realize. I said, damn, maybe one day I have more information on that, but just looking at the word and knowing that one portion of the word could be son, and definitely the iqua part sounds just like Jacob.
Like Yaikwa. Yeah,
Yeah, come.
yeah, Aikwa, yeah, Khan. Jeez, bring that
Easy,
out.
easy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I was gonna say also, it's just like these things, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. Like we have these things with Puerto Rico now. We've seen all the other tribes have it as well. Mexico, Mexica. You know what I'm saying? That's come out in the last
Right,
several
right,
years.
right, 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 right. You're right.
So the more we study, the more the spirit is like, here, check that out. It's like even in our so-called slave names in our oppression, the spirit is gonna, shine through and even show something that applies to us in our characteristics. Huh? That's how powerful the sons of Yahweh are. with the black brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? You have scriptures in the Bible that says black. That was part of the awakening, that they seen that. Where some people say, nah, that's not really talking about skin color, but it woke thousands and thousands of people up of Judah, and they took it to another level. So it started investigating and studying into color scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So this was something applied to us by the devil, calling us Puerto Rican, Mexico. Even though that was their name, they had other names, but they stamped it on us that you're a Puerto Rican, you're a black, you're a Mexican, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, so spiritually proving who we are tribally.
Con. I could, that's what the spirit had me like looking. I said, damn. Even when the devil tries to, cover certain things up about us, they slip up, and actually, the spirit has it that we will come now and see. Oh shit, that's really. You could even go in the scriptures and pull out some information on that.
Right.
Because why would they call it Puerto Rico? Out of all things they could have called it, they said, nah, this is a rich port, a port of riches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why couldn't they name it like Rich Place?
Right.
Or Wealthy Place or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
And they didn't name every island in Puerto Rico. They named one island in Puerto Rico, and other names. And you see a lot of those names is all Hebrew. We already know that.
Right.
But our name, now check that out. You have Cuba, Hebrew dialect. You have Jamaica, Hebrew dialect. Haiti, Hebrew dialect. You know what I'm saying? Quisqueya, which they use a lot, instead of Dominican Republic. But Puerto Rico, for some reason, they had to cover it up. Now, keep that shit in Spanish. And then obviously the so-called Edomites from America, they call it Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted to cover it up. That Borinquen, hell no. There was no way in hell that we would have that. It took us to start awakening. You know what I'm saying? Probably, I would say in the 60s and 70s, where we really started attaching ourselves to our native names, especially as Puerto Ricans. Because we are the kings of the Northern Kingdom at one point. And I found that interesting that out of all the tribes, even Peru, go all down the line, they all have their like an indigenous connection to their names. But us, we have Puerto Rico. All right, so I'll take that. Let's see what Puerto Rico means. since they want to label us Puerto Rico, and that's it. So it says rich harbor. So we know the prophecies of Ephraim would be riches. And we go into Columbus. What were they doing out here? They were looking for riches, Ak. The riches of who? They were looking for the riches, they say, of the East, of India and China and all that. But when you go into this devil Columbus's journals and all that, he starts mentioning the 10 tribes of Israel.
Yo, Ak, again, Salakia, bro.
Yeah,
again.
No problem.
When I first came into this truth, I did a video. And the video was about what the people were called in India before Columbus. And they weren't called Indians, bro. Like, the place wasn't even called India in the time of Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, I believe it was called Hindustan, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly, bro. The name Indian didn't even come to mind in India and what we know as India. So, like, when it's just weird, bro, how they try to cover it up, But yeah, they weren't known as India in the time of Columbus at all. It was after Columbus that they started calling themselves India. And that was until they got colonized, actually, I think.
You see that? The devil likes to play, change up. They'll call one person.
Change up names, yeah. Because he's a master of it.
I believe this is why this generation, they say something about Latinx. They try to play that X part. Like, I'm not too sure where they're getting that from. If they're going into like how the Nation of Islam have X.
Nah. So what?
Or Generation X or something?
Nah. So, what this young kid in my job told me is that the Latin X, the X, doesn't stand for anything but neutral gender. So it's like You
See
don't
that?
call yourself Latino or you don't call yourself Latina. So if you're a boy, you don't say Latino, and if you're a girl, you don't say Latina. You just say Latinx now.
Oh, that's wicked.
Of course, but that's the bull crap that they trying to spit.
Yeah, there's a proverb in the Bible right there. You know, what I'm saying?
Con,
Just for this future generation, which has weaker minds. You know, we
con.
you know we grew up, you know, obviously calling ourselves Puerto Ricans, and then we started as we matured, we started hearing Boricua. You know what I'm saying? That was like, damn, you know, that the Most High was putting in remembrance slowly, like the Valley of Dry Bones, a certain you know, use the word pride in our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Rather than a slave name of Puerto Rico, which is imposed by an oppressor. So yeah, in this generation, they're gonna accept Latinx. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just going and call yourself some tribal name, which would be a step in the right direction, so to speak.
No, but they don't want to. They want to.
They want to keep the lie going.
Con.
All right, so that's crazy, bro. So it says rich harbor, seaport. So now I'm gonna go into the word port. It says seaport and rich. So before I go to port, let's just establish rich. Rich Old English, which is the name Rico. Rico is rich. This is why they have it here in the etymology website. Puerto Rico, they have the breakdown on port and then rich. It means strong, powerful. Now, people, you know, they would never associate rich with strength or strong. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because people don't study etymology. They don't go into the root of words. So when the Spaniard devil, they named us rich port, it could have, and it did take on many connotations. You know what I'm saying? Not only the riqueza, the riches in the island, but also the strength from the caciques. They were known as powerful chieftains and all that. You know what I'm saying? It says powerful, great, mighty, of high rank. Of high rank. I have a book, I believe it's Columbus in 1492. And another understanding of the word Taino, or the name Taino, is people of high rank. People of high rank. That's another name that certain Spaniard dealing with linguistics, they believe that Tainos were referring themselves as the people of high rank. So rich is not only about, you know, gold and precious stones and all that, but it has to do with being strong, powerful, great, mighty, of high rank. All right, wealthy. See how wealthy comes after? It comes way after, or sometime after those other attributes. So as you keep going down, wealthy, mighty, ruler. Rich means ruler. So you have the rich port, which had to do with the rulership of a certain class of people. You know what I'm saying? A powerful, rich. So I'm just gonna keep jumping down. So it says source akin to the Gaulish rix, Old Irish re, genitive of rig, king. You see that? King. So my contention is that it was not just speaking of, you know, whatever material wealth that the Tainos had. It was speaking of a nobility, of a tribal nobility that was found on that island. So so let's get into this, Aka. I'm gonna go to the word port. So the word port, they're gonna give you the obvious definitions here: a bay, a cove, an inlet, a large body of water. Which, when we go into the prophecies of Joseph, is emphasized that he would be in a place which, for all intents and purposes, would be a tropical climate. We went through this in other lessons. So it says jumping down, it says a harbor, a port. So it keeps reiterating. Also, I like this one: an entrance, a passage. You see that, Ak? which I found interesting how the 10 tribes of Israel, they found the Most High gave them a passage through the waterways in through Assyria, through the Euphrates. The Most High opened up a passage, and the word port itself. So they went. I was thinking about making a video, from the Euphrates to Puerto Rico, because that is exactly what happened. They went from the Middle East to the Caribbean in South America. So I thought that interesting that the word port itself goes into the word passage and entrance. It says a city gate, a door. So a gate, a door. So for all intents and purposes, the door of Arsarif was Puerto Rico. The gate where Ephraim would be at the gate of Arsarif, the door of Arsarif. Where beyond that gate, beyond that door, would be the riches of the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? All throughout North Central South America and the Caribbean, they went. The devil knew he had to go through the door or the gate, which is interesting. They call it. They have names of the Caribbean, like the Bermuda Triangle. That's one name for it. Triangle is really a door. The Da'af in the Hebrew alphabet. So I definitely found that interesting. How that the Caribbean is the gate or the door of the New World. So I'm gonna jump down.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
When that word, when it says scroll back up for a second. I just want to read something real quick. Go back up.
That was it.
Oh, that was not right there. A port, harbor, a place where there's a constant resort of vessels, harbor, passage, a going to lead, to pass over.
The water. And we I don't know if we touched on it on the breakdown of Ephraim in the prior video. We know spiritual things with spiritual to lead. Who led the 10 tribes of Israel to this side of the earth? It was the people of the rich port, the tribe of Ephraim. They led them. They passed over Euphrates.
But not only is there a passage, that narrow passage, right, in the Euphrates. Not only that, but pass over. While we passed over, till he held over the floods. So we passed over those floods, those storms, like an obstacle. Deep. That's deep, though.
Yeah, it's like the spirit lines things up, connecting things. So we're back here at port. I was gonna go to Second Esdras, but the brothers out there, that's for more an extensive breakdown. But Second Esdras chapter 13 has definitely the accounts of that voyage. It goes into some of these words, what we see in the word port, which is interesting. They ended up at a port. They went from one port to the port of riches, so to speak. So I'm going to jump down. A gate, an entrance to a place, a portal, the gate of a town or a fortress. It says Latin, porta. Okay. The meaning porthole, an opening in the side of a ship. So it has things to do, obviously, with naval vessels, navigation, the waters.
Right.
So here we got. I'm gonna skip some of these. But to carry, and that thing to carry. See here in port, noun number 3. It means to carry. We know in Deuteronomy chapter 33. It said the tribe of Ephraim, they will carry them, to the ends of the earth. They will carry the 10 tribes to the ends of the earth, which the ends of the earth is Arsarif, Ahlazar, to the furthest regions of the earth. When you go from the east, the farthest regions would be obviously the west. So
even the word establishment, bro.
Con. All right, so It finishes up with a port here, to carry, to bear, to convey, to lead, to pass over, harbor. So I'm going to go into the root of port, which is per or per. Okay, per. It's a lot of words that connected with per, or is the root of the word per. So I'm gonna go into see if I can locate it. It said it is the hypothetical source of evidence for its existence is provided by the Sanskrit pari, around, about, through, para, farther, remote, ulterior, para, which obviously is the same pronunciation of the root word of aparium. All right. It says the Hittite para, outside of. Okay. Boro, which means forward. All right. I'm trying to locate it. Per, it means to lead, to pass over. Harbor, gateway, entrance. To carry. There's one specific one. It's like so many words jumbled up.
It's crazy how it could mean all those different words, though. Like,
Yeah, right. It's at this root that, from that root, showing you, the scriptures is true how all the languages of the nation started off at certain root languages, which obviously was Hebrew. Then it broke off, and some of those ancient languages retain some of the Hebrew. As we see, some of these words obviously sound just like the root word of Ephraim, para, and they branched off to different meanings. There's one specific one. Has to do with giving birth. See if you can look. You see it as I scroll up. Another thing with that harbor and port, when a woman is giving birth, the baby is breaking forth through the water.
yeah, there's like port, which means like bearing, port to carry.
Yeah, there's one specific one. It's probably hidden within, because it jumps from that font to the other one. It's like blurring my. All right, it says. Could be in one of these, but basically para, because let me just drop this one for 1 second, and I'm gonna go to the word parin, which is you see that, Ak? Parin means to give birth. Parin, like a parium. Parium means he is fruitful. The fruitful part is not speaking about somebody who bears literal fruits. It's not speaking about someone who sells fruits or gives out fruits. It's speaking about a tribe of people that have a lot of seed, meaning babies, a lot of children. So even the word parim, we can see has connections with the ancient Hebrew word para, meaning fruit, meaning give birth. Parim in the Spanish means to give birth. So I thought that was interesting to bring out, see how the study of languages is a part of when we come into the truth, tracing back. Obviously our scriptures were translated into many languages, Spanish, Latin, Greek. So this is why we have to have some kind of be familiar with some of these older languages and see the connections. Yeah, but as far as locating that thing's overthrowing me right now. That purr. It basically there's one part it goes into childbearing, the purr, which we know we started off looking at port, and it led us to all these root words, and one of them specifically is going to go into. Right now, I'm not seeing it. It probably branches off somewhere that I'm not seeing it. If I could just like beam in, focus in on it, I'll probably see it. I should have marked it off, but there was a lot of information here. But nevertheless, I'm gonna go back to Ephraim and show how these things are connected. Okay, it was basically just going. It was gonna say something about giving birth. It could be at the end.
Where are you looking at?
This is the root word of port. There was something here about giving birth. But I already showed it in the Spanish. The parin. The parin means fruitful. You know what I'm saying? It means fruitful because it means to give birth in Spanish, parin. And it has something similar here. But I wanted to show it as one keeps going deeper into the word port, as in Puerto Rico, that it also means to give birth.
All right.
So
how about doing it reverse?
Yeah, somewhere here is just a lot of what do you mean doing it in reverse?
So hold on, because I'm trying to find it myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the same place where you're at, but like where I can see it bigger.
Bearing. You see right there where it says bearing. And
bearing,
what they do
exactly.
When they speak about childbearing, because port, when the ships come in, this is why there's certain when a doctor is there assisting in the childbirth, there's certain words that has to do just like when the ship docks at a bay. You know what I'm saying? They come bearing the product, you know, which is like the baby. It's breaking forth through the water and it stops at the dock. That's where you have a doctor. You know, it's coming forth through the water. The woman or the mother of the baby acts as a vessel. So that's why they have words like bearing. Why do they have words with bearing dealing with port? Just as women are bearing children. You know what I'm saying?
Pregnant. I found it.
Oh, you see it, huh?
Yeah, it's per 4.
Okay. You don't know what section is that?
Go to per 4.
Oh, 4. I count the water.
And right there, it's going to be, it says, in all forms, compress, depress, espresso, express, impress, have a strong effect on the mind or the heart, imprimatur, imprint, impress, oppression, pregnant.
There you go. There was actually another one. Yeah, but that's good enough right there. Showing you that the word port and that example I try to give with the doctor and the woman giving birth and bearing, you know, you have the word port, its roots go even into word pregnant. So which means obviously to bring forth children, which again is the name of Ephraim.
Yeah, fruitful.
And we have set up, you know, these linguistic connections to the word Puerto, meaning to give. That it also means to give birth and the riches. So I'm gonna drop that and just go back to the. I'm gonna go back to the Ephraim, which is Genesis 41. So here we're back at Genesis chapter 41, verse 52. And the name of the second called he Ephraim, Apariam. So let's go into the word Apariam. Ephraim but we went through it before. Double, I shall be doubly fruitful. So what one does goes once into the root word. It says apara, apara. So it means the same thing, fruitfulness. So the third time, once you go the third time, you get para, right? Again, what does it mean? To bear fruit, be fruitful, branch off, right? To cause to bear fruit, to make fruitful, to show fruitfulness, bear fruit. Bear, as we seen in the root word of port, they also have bearing to bring forth. It says fruitful, grow, increase. So here they have some added information from Brown, Driver, Briggs. It goes into all these linguistic comparisons with other Eastern languages, from Ethiopic, Phoenician, so on and so forth. But this is what really caught my attention, the Jacenius Hebrew Chaldee Lexicon. Check this out. So where we're at again? We're at the root of the root word of Ephraim. So what it says here, it says, more rarely, it says to bear, right? Besides the ancient Phoenicio-Shemitic language, this root is widely extended in the Indo-Germanic languages, which we know the sons of Noah, they had Hebrew. They were speaking Hebrew. It got broken up into different portions around the so-called Middle East. It says, see the Sanskrit body, BHRI, which, looking at, I'm looking at Ephraim and going into the roots. Once I see that, it's like, damn, I think it sounds like body right there. Just by the way you try to pronounce it, the BHRI, the Sanskrit means to bear, body, BHRI. The Persian, a burden, Armenian, to bear. Latin, this is the point. Latin, ferro, means the portal, Puerto. So I thought, wow, that's spiritual right there, because I'm looking at the word Ephraim going into the root of its root word, and as I go into the different looking at the different ways the nations are using it, it's gonna lead me back again to the word portal, as in Puerto Rico. So I thought that very interesting. The spirit, it led us back, even with the Spaniards naming this island over here, this famous island in the Caribbean, which through prophecies, through the curses, through the characteristics of these people in the Caribbean, specifically Puerto Rico, and what we have faith in what we see in the prophecies. We call ourselves Ephraimites. Well, the word Ephraim itself, in the as one gets into the root languages, it also means portal, as bearing fruit. To bear fruit.
A parent's Salakia, a parent's, well, not a parent's, but a mom's canal is like a portal too for the baby when the baby is born.
Come on. So it says portal, Gothic, Baer, and English, to bear, to burden. Some of these words were being also used in the word portal. The root words of Ephraim and the root words of the word portal are giving us similar definitions, so to speak. So that was basically it as far as going to Ephraim and the word portal. So we see riches, the Rico part, it means kings or wealthy or nobles. And the portal part deals with bearing fruit, bearing increase. So definitely in the spirit, from what I see, that the Puerto Rico really in the spirit is meaning the riches of Ephraim. You know what I'm saying? Or the nobles of Ephraim, or the kings of Ephraim, just like the word Borinquen, the land of the brave or the noble lord. It all has connotations with a noble line and them being very fruitful on that land, even in the word Puerto Rico. This is the whole point of it, because the Hebrew definitely says that, but it's the the name, the byword, and the proverb put on that land that also points us back to these things in the Bible.
Yeah, that was awesome. What I liked about it is that you went to the root words and showed how these root words still, regardless, mean Ephraim. Like, there's a lot of people that won't take you to the root words. They'll just be like, look, this just sounds the same and whatever. But you went to the root words. So yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, Khan. So this is the just to finish up. This actually goes into the word Boricua, but I just want to establish something with these linguistics. How, whether we look at Puerto Rico, we look at Borinquen, we look at Jibaro, so on and so forth. They also point back to our true identity in the Bible. So this is a book, pretty good book. It goes into a lot of linguistics. The Key by John Philip Cohan, sounding like an Amalekite, a so-called Jew. Trying to get the preface is by Cyrus Gordon, which he has a lot of good books going into the ancient peoples that came over to the North Central South America, or what he thinks was ancient peoples. They try to say a lot of people were out here, which it's good to get some of these books just to show people how, yes, it was not impossible. Everybody is stuck on that lie from the devil that Columbus was the only one that managed to make it out to the New World, so-called New World. But dudes like this, like Cyrus Gordon and the author of this book, they're trying to, give information on ancient peoples also having contact with, our people, the indigenous people of America, which unfortunately, is crazy, bro. A lot of our people don't know these things, bro. They think this is, I don't know what they think, bro. It's just, they have no knowledge of this at all, bro. This is like considered pseudo history to some of our people. You know what I'm saying? But most of our people don't. But you know who's into these books and this information? So-called white people. They've been into it for hundreds of years.
You know what it is with our people? We don't want to hear what's coming out of another Hispanic's mouth. We want to hear from the white man. If the white man could tell me, then I'll believe it, because another Hispanic don't know shit, because our people suck. That's how they look at us.
So I'm trying to finish it up with this. This is from that book. This devil is this Amalekite, so-called Jewish devil. So he's very familiar with the Hebrew language. So it says, some of these words is hard to pronounce, but I'm gonna give it a try. It says, I burr on him. So he's trying to locate in the world the influence of the Hebrews and them leaving the name Hebrew in the towns and the rivers and so on and so forth, the countries. So it says, I burr and him and Burren him, about 80 miles apart, are connected by the Birmingham River. The Iber, remember we were mentioning Ibaros earlier, and also like the brother Yasa Allah had brought out about the Iberia, Spain, which the Israelites, the Southern Kingdom, were also going to Spain. They named it Iberia. So it says the Iber beginning in the first name would indicate that all three Ber names were once Iber or Eber names. Iber Rama in Brazil, Iber Rama in Brazil, South America, which obviously so-called Puerto Ricans, that's our family out there. The Native Americans and the so-called blacks of Brazil, we have a shared common history with the people of Brazil. They were also oppressed by the devil. Their devil was the Portuguese devil. All right. So it says, would also indicate that the same thing was true of a number of Birama, I don't know how to say that, Birama names in that part of the world. You see how he has glossed over that fact? It says the same thing was true of a number of Birama names in that part of the world. What part of the world is he speaking about? He's speaking about South America
Right.
and Latin America in general.
Right.
And I'm gonna prove that he knows all these places had this Iber name, Eber name all throughout Arsaris. Check this out. After all the vile mortalities observed during the past few years, these instances now seem like old hat. But at the time, their discoveries seemed momentous to me. All the Barak names take on added significance because of the Arabic word or name. So again, he's tracing this Ibar, Eber, also now Barak, like Borinquen. I'm gonna show you that here. Baraka, a quality of holiness, both in people and such things as tombs of saints, bread, trees, wells, springs, rocks, and caves. So they had a propensity to name these places after the Hebrew, the blessed, the name blessed in Hebrew. So it says, the oldest of these names would appear to be the valley of blessedness, Barakah, mentioned in 2 Chronicles 20:26, believed by Father Gralenberg. You see that? Who's studying these things, huh? So you know what I'm saying? He's a so-called Jew. Then you have Cyrus Gordon, I believe he's a so-called Jew. Then you have Father Gralenberg. He sounds like another Jew. He might be a German, but obviously he's a Catholic. He's studying the name Baraka, these Hebrew words throughout history, from the Bible, to the so-called indigenous people. They knew and they know who we are, the 12 tribes of Israel. So it says, believed by Father Gralenberg to be the modern city of West Berikut, predating the Arab word Baraka, is an even earlier Semitic one meaning blessing or benediction, Berhek. One of the most fascinating examples of an early place name, check this out, how they're going to jump back to South America. One of the most fascinating examples of an early place name to which a bar was added is the former name for Rio de Janeiro, right back into South America, which is where the 10 tribes ended up at when we came around the south portion of Africa. We ended up in what's it called? They mentioned there's a Gulf Stream that leads those ships around South Africa right into the Caribbean Sea and South America.
Nah. All I can think about is Panama Canal.
Yeah. So, but he keeps saying this main portion. He mentioned Brazil and parts of that part of the world. He didn't want to be specific there, but now he's back to that. There was a Hebrew name applied to the former name of Rio de Janeiro, still the name of the vast state in which the Brazilian capital was once situated. The name is Guanabara. So then he tries to break it down. He says, I'm not going to read that part because he's like butchering it. Once Aguana. So he's trying to break it down. I'm going to just keep reading, skip that part. In other parts of the world, one finds the Abar element first, as in the province of Abar Gawamua in Sierra Leone. I believe that's by India. Abar, because remember the Israelite tribes, they were dispersed throughout the earth. You know what I'm saying? Into Africa, the Far East, Asia, and obviously to the Americas. And on the same island, the Habaragala River. Such names as Haber, and Habermur Mountain, all in Iceland, indicate where the Icelandic generic use of bear for town came from. So he's even trying to locate them in damn Iceland. So it says the predominance of these bar names, which considerable evidence points towards once being Eber names, can be seen by a quick glance at North Africa, which obviously the Israelites were in North Africa. Is read Acts chapter 2, from Egypt to So what's that called? Libya and all that. The Mediterranean and Europe on any modern map, which would be obvious. The Israelites, of course, these Eber names will be found. That's not too far from, Israel, North Africa and so on and so forth, the Mediterranean. So it says Barcelona, Bordeaux, Brittany. I'm going to skip some of these. Berber. An earlier name for Paris still preserved is Bercy in a distinct name. Burgundy, all right. Bristol, England. Check this out, Ak. I'm going to finish with this. The list is endless. But you see how he made such a big emphasis on Brazil and those parts of the world. He made a big point about Rio de Janeiro having this ancient name, a Hebrew sounding name. But look how after he named all these places in Europe, Africa, so on and so forth, he ends that point specifically with who? It says, hopping from Barbados to Borinquen, the native name for Puerto Rico, and to a dozen or more other prominent island and seaport names in the West Indies. So there you have it. The devil knows that you so-called Puerto Ricans, your name, Borinquen, whether you call yourself Borinquen, that goes back to Hebrew, as does Hebrew, and in the spirit, the name Puerto Rico itself has a spiritual connection to our blessings given to Joseph and our tribal name, Ephraim.
God, I like that Puerto Rico breakdown, bro. That's a nice how it fits so well with Ephraim. Like that's dope, bro.
All right. Yeah, we see it with Issachar. Mexico is Mexica, then the Black Americans, and who all these. So I say, Puerto Rico. That's definitely a time to bring this out. That these they have spiritual connections with a lot of the things spoken of us in the Bible.
Yeah, Khan, that was dope, bro. That was
Chosen Elegido said portal is a main door to a city or town. Khan. Yeah, it's an arsarif. You know what I'm saying? Portal to give birth. There you go. Parin as well, exactly. And that's the main portion of the name Ephraim is Para.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And port and Para is synonymous. According to the linguistics.
That was dope. That was dope, bro.
All praises due to Yahweh.
All praises to Yahweh.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned, I didn't want it to be obviously, how many times we're going to break down Ephraim. We should, occasion, brush up, and show people, because that's needed. Like you always say, if you're from a specific tribe, you should be studying to try to break it down to the people.
Yeah. Yep. Enough to where they could get it. And even where they deny it, they still really can't deny it because the proof is like too evident. So you did a good job, bro.
The water. All praises to the Most High. So that's it. That was, we went 118 on this one. Most High willing, we're gonna jump back into present matters, dealing with the Catholic Church still has a hold on the mind state of the people, especially nowadays. People see these wars and they're gonna go hard now. They went hard for. I seen young chicks with the ashes on their head. Bro, 2022. You think people is so-called woke? Nah, they ain't woke. No, the people, mad people out there still with the ashes. Not to say if you don't have ashes, that means you're any better. But I'm saying just to show you there's more pressing matters out there. Yeah, the tribal breakdowns is beautiful, it's spiritual, but we got to focus on our people because they're still under the spell of the dragon, the Catholic Church. You know what I'm saying?
They got to start calling all this stuff out, bro.
Easter and all that shit. It's still going on. People are running to the churches.
Like, I want to show some videos about how when the Bible was first canonized, people swear it happened in Rome in the Nicaea or around that time. And I heard people say Carthage. Even the Old Testament, for example, that book was compiled and canonized way before freaking Carthage or any freaking Nicaea Council or any of that.
Mm.
We gotta do a video on that.
Come on. All right. So I'm gonna end it like that. The water arc for coming on and breaking bread with me. We're gonna say shalom to all the brothers out there. The water for tuning in.
Shalom.
And hopefully the brothers, everybody's out there, you know, in good spirits, because we're supposed to be in good spirits. As we see our enemy fall, we're supposed to be in good spirits. The scripture says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth. You know what I'm saying? And then we have to look to the Most High. As everybody's down and gloomy, you had a pestilence and all this going on, and then the war, and things are going to get worse. So we have to keep praising the Most High. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. You have to start praying like you never prayed before, because all that's coming to your doorstep. As Passover comes, we pray that in the Most High, you know, plays Egypt as before, because, you know, not to say that we're perfect, that we can make it right now, but this is the mind state we're going to have, because we want Yahweh Shai to be put back in his throne. You know what I'm saying? He is on his throne, but we're tired of these nations. We're tired of the devil, and we want Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to be praised as we praise him every day. So all we can do is just put out the lessons out.
All praises to the Most High, man.
All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. I'm gonna say shalom to the next time.
Shalom.
Kwame Ashalom.